Now, forewarn weather with exclusive cutting-edge technology to help keep you and your family safe.
Taking a live look at Detroit Metro Airport, where some travelers are fleeing from Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton. And Kim, that storm continues to inch closer and closer. We're talking about hours now.
That's right. And people in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, those airports are closed. So those closed today, so you cannot get out of those areas except by car, and there's as much as a 30-mile backup or more on the freeway to get out of Tampa. So a tough situation to our south. Now, even though things are fine here and there are no delays, I do expect as that hurricane gets closer, we'll likely see more because of a domino effect from the closures of the airports, more than likely all over Florida Wednesday and certainly into Thursday. 70 degrees in Detroit, Pontiac 67, Grosse Ile and Port Huron not checking in this hour, so we'll check on those, but more than likely in the low to mid 60s. 67 at 6 o'clock tonight. You want to take the dog for a walk, just know that when the sun sets just after 7 o'clock, it gets cold pretty quickly as our temps drop down into the low 60s. And then overnight tonight, we are on our way down into the 30s, one of the coldest nights we've seen in quite some time. And in fact, in Lapeer and Genesee counties, you are under a frost advisory overnight tonight. There could be some frost here and there around the west side of Howell, Ann Arbor, Pontiac, in those outer lying areas. In the city, though, staying in the low 40s, but definitely a cold start to the day tomorrow. But everything should be nice, sunny, and pretty mild for the Tigers game tomorrow afternoon. 3 o'clock, 64 degrees. By 6 o'clock, down into the low 60s. Now let's talk a little bit more about Hurricane Milton. Still a major hurricane. It's been fluctuating in intensity from a 5 to a 4, possibly even going back to a 5. That's typical of hurricanes this size. They will fluctuate in intensity, but when the eye wall is replaced, which it's already gone through one replacement cycle, that means the wind field expands. And also when it gets into some wind shear, which might weaken it down to a 3, it's still going to be horizontally gigantic and affect much of Florida. In fact, pretty much the entire peninsula of Florida will be affected. Timing right now looks to be sometime between 8 p.m. Wednesday and 2 a.m. Thursday. That could fluctuate as it might pick up in forward speed, or it could stall a little bit, but it is going to affect all of Florida and then eventually go out to sea. Orlando starting some evacuations at this hour. The good news, though, for the Carolinas is that aside from some high surf, it will not affect the Carolinas, and it doesn't affect us here in Metro Detroit. But as I mentioned, that the horizontally of the storm, the wind field will be gigantic, and that's going to cause surge all along the west coast and even on the east coast. But from Tampa down to Fort Myers is where they expect anywhere from 12 up to possibly 15 feet of surge, and that is not survivable for the people on the coast. 41 degrees, mainly clear skies, could be some patchy frost overnight tonight, and then tomorrow, cold start to the day, but we do make it up to a high of 64 degrees with mostly sunny skies. A little breezy tomorrow, but a nice pleasant day. Thursday looks dry. Friday, we're back into the low 70s. Then for Saturday, we got to put in a slight chance of rain, better chance now, bringing that in on Sunday. Not 100% convinced of this yet, but one thing is for sure, next week our highs go back into the 50s. And Kieran, coming up tonight at 5 and 6, we'll have much more. Hurricane Center puts out their next update on Milton at 5 o'clock, and we'll have that for you then.
Okay, we'll check back. Thanks, Kim.